The Cowboys season is on the brink. If you don't beat the Atlanta Falcons this week, I don't like your chances to even remotely save your campaign. If you want the 2024 season to get back on track, like the video right now. Cowboys are once again road dogs, a phrase we've heard a lot so far this season. Falcons are 2.5-point favorites at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Over-under set at 49. The Falcons have the number 12 ranked scoring offense. Pre-Monday Night Football updates, by the way. Top 20, barely defense, but your offense is bottom 10. Your defense is bottom 2. The Cowboys are not playing good football. The Atlanta Falcons are actually very much playing some good football as of late. They have overhauled their coaching staff, new quarterback, good things happening. They did get their butts kicked a week ago by the Seahawks, but they've come off of wins over the Bucs twice, Saints, and hung around against the Chiefs. Also beat the Eagles earlier this year. Some injury notes, knowing we should get more information on this on Wednesday. Amani Oruwariye left the game late with the back injury. TBD on how badly he's banged up. Caelen Carson has practiced 2-3 weeks in a row now, yet keeps being a scratch with a shoulder injury, which makes me wonder there. But if DaRon Bland can't go, you probably got to keep Carson on your active roster. He is definitely one to watch this week. So too with Micah Parsons, who has been banged up. We are at the opening of his window, basically to return in that 4 to 6 week high ankle sprain timeline. You need Blandon Parsons back pretty badly. Falcons injury, meanwhile, Justin Simmons missed last week with a hamstring injury. We'll see if he's able to go. Troy Anderson's missed time with his knee injury. Oruwariye has missed time with his ankle. He got it hurt last week. Those are noteworthy losses on defense if they can't go. Monitor the injury report all week long. The Cowboys face a bit of a must-come-out advantageously schedule, if that makes sense. 2 wins at absolute minimum, but it's probably 3 if you really want to make a playoff push. Falcons, Eagles, Texans, Commanders, all teams that are better than you record-wise, and frankly, you might be underdogs in every game. Maybe week 10, week 11 is a little bit different. Vegas isn't as high on Philadelphia or Houston as their records suggest. But with road games mixed in there, I don't know how many games you're going to be favored in. You're 3-4. It doesn't feel like you're 3-4. You feel worse than that. You feel like you're 2-5 or 3-6 even. Is this a must-win game? Let me know in the comments. There's the pinned comment of today's show. Y for yes, N for no. Number 1 key to victory. You need the good version of your quarterback to show up. And there have been moments he's shown up. He has not shown up on a consistent basis. There's far too many times per game. It's just, hey, man, what are you doing out there? You had it in the 49ers, the Steelers game, just like bad decision-making. Had it in the Niners game. I think if he doesn't get hit, that first interception might work out well, but the second one was a terrible decision, and that wasn't even the worst throw of the game. It was the final drive first throw that should have been picked off and ended it. I got lucky it wasn't, and didn't matter because they had 3 bad plays after that. There's no doubt about it, your quarterback hasn't been good enough. There's other issues too. I'm not trying to exempt those things or pass the buck altogether or only blame one guy, but we all have eyeballs. He's not playing good enough. He was MVP, runner-up last year. He isn't remotely playing at that level. I need that guy to show back up, or at least a closer version of it, even with the supporting cast getting worse as well. This is too much of a roller coaster right now out of Dak Prescott. There's too many throws per game. It's like, what are we doing here, man? Even after the interception-heavy year 2 seasons ago, that was bad luck. These are bad throws and bad decisions. These are much more Dak Prescott's mistakes than they were 2 seasons ago. I think it's more out of pressing. He knows the defense is bad. He knows the ground game is the NFL's worst. He knows the O-line's not great. He's got one good playmaker. He's trying to make a bunch of big plays happen because it gives them the best chance to win. That's fine. That is an excuse. You can't get it all back in one play sometimes. You sometimes got to take the medicine. It's all excuses in the end. It's not really reasons. I need better play to win this game. The Falcons defense is not that good. They don't get much pressure. You can beat them, but this guy has to show up. He has to play well. You don't have the team to win games with more interceptions and touchdowns than your quarterback like the Chiefs can right now. You don't have the team to win games with 83 passing yards like the Lions do right now. You need your quarterback to play like a top 10 QB, and he hasn't done that this season. Now, eventually, it's going to get back on track. I don't know if it's going to come this season or in time this season. So be honest with me. What's your confidence level right now in Dak Prescott? Scale it for me from 1 to 10 in the comments section. Number 2, you got to stop the damn run. You can't do it right now. And you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run. That is the recipe for being a bad football team. There's a lot of things on this roster, including number 1. That's a recipe for being a bad football team right now. Here are the numbers. You are 31st in rushing yards allowed per game, 26th in yards per carry. You're dead last in EPA per carry, last in stuff rate, 21st in yards before contact, 25th in yards after contact. You feature the most outside runs against you, and you've loaded the boxes at a top 3 rate. Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson are looking at their chaps going, this is our week to light it up, because guess what else the Falcons are? They're an outside zone run team. They love to get the ball on the edges at a rate higher than anybody else in football, and you can't stop that crap. Falcons are an above average-ish run team. They're 11th in yards per carry, 8th in success rate. They do a great job after contact. You can't tackle. They face very few stack boxes. They'll get more of them this week, but it's going to be a lot of 11 personnel. They like to use 3 receiver stuff. It's another bad matchup for you. And that's going to be a common refrain this season, because if you can't stop the run and you got the worst run game in football, turns out there's a lot of bad matchups for you. Now, today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It is available in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. It is the only place that offers a injury insurance policy. If a player goes down the first half, doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live, which is an awesome feature, especially valuable for various college football games where the injury reports are still shaky at best sometimes. And the flex play. You can get a pick wrong and still come out on top. Very valuable if you're doing Texas State versus Louisiana Prize Picks, like I've got right there for you guys. More thans on Jordan McLeod, Ishmael Mahadi, and Jacob Bernard. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get a $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win and get that $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Number 3, you got to get some pressure on Kirk Cousins. Again, some of these are like the basics of football. Hey, your quarterback's got to play well, you got to run. But that's where we're at when you're playing so poorly. Like the keys victory are the basic shit. With no pressure this year, Kirk Cousins, 70.1% completion rate, 7.6 yards per attempt, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception, obviously no sacks. Under pressure, been some more chunk plays. Yards per attempt is up. But the interceptions are 3-1, 6-2, 15 sacks, and 64.4%. Cousins doesn't move, and never really has moved that well, but he's only faced 103 pressure snaps. The problem is, who's going to get your pressure? It's kind of blitzes or nothing. Kirk's been fine against the blitz. But, man, they got Drake London. They got Kyle Pitts. They got Darnell Mooney, who's fast. You probably want to put Diggs on London, by the way, but he plays in the slot some, so they're going to shadow him. If Micah can't go, you can't get pressure right now. Again, a lot of bad matchups here. Now, we will be live, good or bad, for the Cowboys-Falcons game. So don't miss out. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Number 4, the second offensive player steps up. Somebody has to show up. CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott last week seemingly fixed most of their issues. There was a couple plays where I'm like, that didn't look very good, and then Lamb got a breather. They moved the ball, but then Lamb camped it off with 2 touchdowns after that, so it's fine. The Lamb connection looked a lot better last week. Allegedly, there was some behind-the-scenes work with Dak and Lamb away at the Dak backyard or other places, facilities to get going there. But somebody else has to show up right now. Jalen Tolbert typically makes plays when called upon, but he's just kind of a 3. Kevontae Turpin's a gadget guy. He's not a real receiver. See the deep shots where he dropped it. That was the best throw all game by Dak, and it's dropped. Kind of how it goes sometimes for him, right? Jalen Brooks is not good. I'm trying real hard to not say mean things. Flower can't get on the field. Jake Ferguson doesn't look like his old self. Luke Schoonmaker is MIA. Brevin Spanford is a blocker. I assume they'll call up Dalvin Cook. Getting a ground game would be great. They are the worst run game in football in terms of everything about themselves. The designs, the runs, the offensive line blocking, before contact, after contact, inside runs, the schematics, it's all ugly. Somebody has to make some plays. Because this is the type of game where you've run into this issue in really several years in a row. Dak and Lamb, if they're playing well, which hasn't played well enough this year, Lamb hasn't played well enough until last week, they haven't been good enough. Those two alone can't get them to where they want to go. They need more. And the improvements have to come internally from the way this team is being operated right now. It has to come from somebody on the roster. So give me your score predictions of the Cowboys against the Falcons. Let me know in the comments. We'll get to mine at the end of today's show. Number 5. All right, so last week, the no one believes in us card didn't work, so we're going to play a different card, Mike. This is going to be the desperate team theory. Falcons are 5-2. They're playing good football. They're a good team. You are desperate. Desperate animal is a dangerous animal, right? Cage animals or cornered animal is a dangerous one. You have to play the desperate team theory card. You have to remind everyone, we got to win this week. This means so much. You have to hammer that message home. You need your team to feel like they have to have this win. Look, 3-5 isn't usually a death sentence. You can recover from that. This team did last year to an extent. Not quite 3-5, but they were kind of in a similar-ish boat. But given the vibes you're at right now, where it just feels a little toxic and you are not yet at rock bottom, if you don't get the desperate team to show up against the Falcons coming off another loss and you're facing 3-5 and way down in the NFC standings, it's not going to show up at all, I fear. So last week, I told that I don't believe in you. I picked the Niners to win. Happened. Let's play into the desperate theory vibes. Cowboys win 30-28. I think you can win this game. If you get good, if you do all the things we mentioned, you get healthy, you get the quarterback playing well again against the not great defense, you can win. Am I confident in that?